So African Americans have decided that on August 1st, they're going to protest to boycott African businesses. African Americans, do you guys realize that Africa is a continent with 54 countries? It is impossible to boycott all of them. 54 countries with different tribes, different cultures, different fashion, different hairstyles. You guys can't even boycott Lululemon. I would really like to see that happen. I would really, really, really like to see that happen. I cannot even believe this is even happening in my time. How did we go from seeing you guys as gods to below the food chain? How? What has become of you? Who has the mighty fallen? How has the mighty fallen? You guys have fallen. You don't know who you are. You guys don't know who you are. You're trying to say you're not Africans. What? If they brought your ancestors to America during the slave Atlantic trade, where did your ancestors come from? If your ancestors were brought in America during slave trade, where did they come from? Were they living in the moon? The fact that we have to teach you guys.
I don't know about your FYP, but lately on my FYP, I have been seeing African Americans saying on the 1st of August, they're going to boycott African businesses because they're not American. I've been seeing a lot of those videos. They believe they're not Africans. Some were even going to the extent of saying they don't have African features. And African Americans don't come from me, but there's African American behind your, is it tied to your ethnicity, your background, but you don't think you're African. I'm not saying you're African like you were born in Africa. And by the way, Africa is a continent. There's like 54 countries in there. Yeah, just putting it out there. Okay, you guys, obviously some of you don't know your roots, some of you know your roots. I am so sorry about what happened decades of years ago to you guys. Okay, I apologize on behalf of our ancestors. I apologize, but this is the thing, you're African. Sorry to be a bearer of bad news. Yeah, you're African. Like, there's African American behind your identity. Yes, you might know you were not born in Africa like we were born in Africa, but your ancestors were from Africa. I don't know. American school system. What do they teach you? Actually, you know what? Scrap that. The white people have blown all the school off. So I'm trying to like. And then some of the ladies are saying, I don't have, even men as well, I don't have African features. But some of you are traveling to Turkey to get your nose pointed because it looks too African and too. Am I bugging? Am I bugging? I'm not saying don't cancel African businesses. If you want to, by all means, but it's just the fact that you guys, I'm not saying claim African because you're not born there. You were not raised there. You don't know your background. You don't know where. I understand that, but it is still part of your identity. Are you African? Someone like me, yes, I know my background. I know where I've come from. I've come from Nigeria. I was born there. I grew up in England. My citizenship is not by birth. My children, however, their citizenship is by birth because they were born here. But are they going to go around and go, oh, I am British? Yeah, they are British because they were born here, but they're Black British, they're African British. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Am I making sense? African Americans? African Americans? Like, come on, you guys, like, stop. This is becoming ridiculous on this app. Like, come on. We're all this color. If we're this color, maybe different shades of melanin, we are one. Stop this. Stop. Africans, Americans, the heck?
I'm going to try to say this thing in the nicest way possible. When I see videos of people campaigning to boycott African businesses by August 1, I'm wondering why you're waiting till August 1 to start. Why are you not starting already? I don't need you to change your mind. I need you to start already. August 1st is like 1 week away, and it's far away, trust me. The problem I see is that a lot of you don't bother to educate yourselves. A lot of you don't bother to know anything or seek information outside the four walls of your bedroom. Let me tell you something that you may not know, just in case you didn't know. Africa is a whole continent with 54 countries, with a lot of its people in diaspora. So when African businesses are set up, that's set up with Africans in diaspora in mind, not you. Those businesses are not set up with you in mind. They're not setting it up believing that you will come and patronize them. That's why you don't go there and see, you don't go to an African restaurant and see burger on display. That's why you go in there that's selling egusi, ogbono, ewedu, amala, African food. That's why you go into an African store that sells clothes and you see African attire. You go to a braiding shop and they are braiding Africans' hair. So stop feeling self-acclaimed savior of African civilization. You are not. Whether or not you show up in those African businesses, they will still thrive. Do you understand? There's a saying in my place that a whole market does not know when one person doesn't show up. So whether or not you go doesn't matter. And if you do decide to start your protest, please don't at any point change your mind. Don't say it's over. Let's start patronizing African business, because at that point they will start refusing service. Why do you guys feed on hate? Why do you hate so much? Goodness.
So all this boycott African business stuff going on in the States. Jesus, man, the programming has got you lot deep. What happened? What the fuck happened to the understanding that it doesn't matter what any of us do to each other? It doesn't matter. Like, when are you lot gonna get into your fucking heads? It doesn't matter what we do to each other. Neither of our situations change. So if you do, only a fool would think that something substantial comes out of this boycott. But anyway, I know it's not the majority of people, but I think it's just important to highlight the severe brain damage one must have to arrive at this conclusion thinking it will better your circumstances. Wake up. It's not the fight.
Attention to everybody that's trying to boycott the African braid shop. Baby, it's one that I am an African American braider, okay? And I work in the African braid shop. And so if y'all August 1st start boycotting, let y'all be known. Don't walk through them doors. You see that exercise? Don't walk through that door after August 1st to get no long braids, boo-boo. Clock it, with not one, but two, but three braiders on your head, okay? So go to your mama kitchen, boo-boo, go to your mama kitchen and make sure that she know how to braid hair, okay? Because that's where you're going to have to go. Because, yeah, it's about that life, honey. And this is the American talking, okay? Play with my sisters if you want to, again. Play with them. Yeah. Clock. What we doing? What we doing, Clint? Thank you. Yeah. We'll see y'all August 1st. And nappy-headed and broke. Yeah. Come to my page, Free Agent 32. Follow me for more, baby. African braid shots, baby. Yeah, we do this. You see all that braid over there? Yes. KCK, baby. Yeah. What? You better get like it.
Africa is not a country. Africa is a continent made up of more than 50 different countries. This message is for all of you black sellouts in the African American community. So you want to boycott African businesses on August 1st? Well, I'm going to help you out. Don't accidentally wander into a Mediterranean restaurant thinking that it's not African. Nah, it's African, right? Don't accidentally wander into a Nigerian, Ivorian, Cameroonian, Congolese, Tanzanian, Kenyan, Ugandan, Zambian, South African. Oh, you know what? Maybe I need to name all those countries because some of you among that sellout group have really low IQs. Your identity crisis is embarrassing to all black people. Dissociating yourself from your African identity makes you a tree without roots trying to plant itself in the desert. You're like a dried out snail with no slime. You literally are like a beggar who doesn't even know how to beg. We would love for Africa to become a country. as Africans, as black people all around the diaspora, we would like to see the day Africa becomes one country. But as of right now, it's still 54 countries with 54 different types of food styles. And even between those 54 countries, there's different tribes that have different types of food. And you really never know when you're eating African food, because you might think you're eating Indian food, but it's really just Ethiopian food. So yeah, keep hating, okay? Now, it sounds to me like most of y'all have a problem with Nigerians. This whole beef started with y'all's problem with Nigerians, right? What did Nigerians do to you? FBAs? Foundational Black Americans? I don't know what the that is, but what did Nigerians do to you? Nigerians come to America and they work hard. Yeah, I know there's a little bit of scamming going on here and there, but yeah, majority of them are doctors, nurses, professionals, CEOs, business owners. Some are even in government in the United States because they've been naturalized, you know. So what's your beef? You know, let's work together. Let's drop all that divide and conquer and come together, and maybe we can make a name for ourselves. Dear Black. And just to reaffirm, again, this message is only for the 1% of the sellouts in the Black African American community who are suffering from an identity crisis and don't know that they come from Africa.
Now, find a new rival.
As an owner of a braiding salon, I do not condone any form of disrespect against anyone, whatever race, color you have, be you blue, white, green, yellow, orange, whatever your skin tone is. I do not disrespect anybody, and I do not condone any form of disrespect against anybody, especially against my people, Black people. I find this video completely distasteful. Why are Black people fighting against their own? Who are you? Who am I? We have the same skin tone. When you are boycotting, trying to boycott African braiding shop, who you think you're fighting against? If we don't come together and face the real problem, Black people will never grow together. And this is not just in America. Black people as a whole, for some reason, have always fight against themselves. Why you want to boycott the braiding shop? If you feel disrespected in one hair braiding shop, stop going there. Go to hair braiding shops that know how to respect people. At Cody Braids, we respect our customers. Many of our customers feel like it's home to them. They feel very welcomed. We treat people nicely, we respect them, and we have proofs. If you go to our reviews, you go to everywhere, you see that people are grateful that we have a business that caters to their need. Why are you fighting against your own?
Hey, my beautiful sisters and brothers, please, 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 and please, let's not divide each other. This is a time for us to come together as one. This is the time for us to come together as one. The braiders, African restaurants, please, let's listen to our brothers and sisters complain. They are bringing us business, and they are right. Without them, you know, for people that have stores like braiders and stuff, I mean, a white woman is not coming to braid their hair. Maybe they do, maybe once a while, I'm not sure, but predominantly it's our own people that come there and patronize us. So is the African stores too, or African restaurants as well. Please, let's not divide each other. Let's listen to them. Customers are always right. Let's listen to their complaints and do proper, adjustments. Please, I'm pleading to both sides. My brothers, my American sisters, my African sisters, my African brothers. Please, 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 I'm pleading. Please, let us not divide ourselves. This is the time that we need each other so badly. Please, 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 please. Please, I'm on my knees. I'm begging. Please, let's come together as one. Let's forgive each other. Let's start over again. Please, 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 please. And God bless you. God bless every one of us. And God bless the United States. Thank you.
All right, so this is what I have a deep problem with when it deals with a lot of Africans that want to happen to talk specifically about Black Americans or on Black Americans and not know any of which of the things that they are referring to. You have the African woman that wanted to say it, and again, it sounds like she had a UK accent, and it's a little bit weird to me that a lot of fleers, a lot of runners want to have this conversation, want to make Black Americans this type of topic when a lot of them run from their very own existence. They run directly from who it is that they are because they don't like it and because they don't know how to fix it. They don't want to fix it. They feel it's not their responsibility. Right, going back to the nurse that I gave you a video directly of, and I'm going to do a follow-up video directly on that because that nurse actually made another TikTok and she said a lot more stuff. One of which is that she came to the United States, but she left her family back home, right? The same family. She's going to, state that it's bad, it's horrible, and all this other type of stuff. But you're a runner and you're a fleer, and you ran, and you left all of your family, including your kids there, where all of these horrendous things that you told us about were happening. That don't make no sense. That don't seem like a good parent. But anyways, so anybody can look this up, and this is the information that I got, right? It says that the term African American has roots dating back to the 18th century, with the earliest known printed usage appearing back in 1782 in a sermon. While it existed earlier, the term gained significant prominence and was popularized in the late 1980s, particularly by Jesse Jackson. Again, pay attention. Early usage: 1782, Sherman Field, a sermon on the capture of Lord Cornwallis, contained what is believed to be the first printed instance of the term African American. Again, nobody was around during that time. Next, we got the 19th century. The term continued to appear in various contexts, including an 1835 abolitionist newspaper. Again, nobody was around during that time. 1980s. The greater majority of people here now were around during that time. Jesse Jackson and other leaders in the 1980s played a crucial role in popularizing the term African Americans, emphasizing cultural heritage and identity. Interesting. But notice how none of these Africans can tell you that. They can just tell you, don't you have the terminology African American? And don't you have things that look just like us? Crazy work, huh? Next, we have Afro-American, which is something that used to hearing, right? These are terminologies that older folks than the 80s were using, right? When it came with identities for Black Americans in the United States. It was worth noting that the term Afro-American was also used, especially from the 1960s to the early 1990s, with a similar meaning. Ongoing usage. While African American gained prominence, the term Black continues to be used and preferred by some, highlighting the ongoing evolution of self-identification among people of African descent in the United States. Now, again, I want to have people know and understand. Black people in America, Black Americans, are going through a process. Whichever name that we find that really benefits us, that is what we're going to use as a whole. We've been doing this for the longest time possible, probably longer than a lot of other people directly out here, because we are some of the most branded and renamed people here, bar none. And that is just a fact. That is just a fact. Africans can't tell you anything different because they didn't have to go through anything like this. And that's facts. To the extent of which that we had to go through it in the United States. They just didn't. Whatever came along, that's what they stuck with. That's what they came up with. Hey, you're Zimbabwean. Hey, you're Kenyan. Hey, you're Liberian. Hey, you're Ghanaian. Hey, right. So like I said, y'all, that's your history. That is you. There is not a list of 21 different names before you got to being a Kenyan or a Nigerian or this or that. So that's number one. Number two, the identity also has to do with the history that is obviously being well guarded and hidden by everybody, because obviously everybody knows something that we don't. for the most part, as I've stated in videos over the years, it's very interesting how all of these groups that in the world, they fight over resources, religion, and everything else. It's funny how y'all can't agree on anything, but when it deals with Black Americans, all of y'all who fight, both externally and internally, can come together and look at Black Americans and be like, no, you're not, you know, what it is that you think you are. You're not native to America. You don't have native blood. You are colonizers. You're nothing but slaves, katas, you know, cotton pickers, this, that, and the third. You're nothing but cargo. It's amazing how you guys can come together on this whole negative, you know, type of branding, but yet you never have anything positive to say altogether. That's very interesting. Like I said, I keep trying to tell people have to pay attention. When was the last time you heard Africans say anything positive about Black Americans? It ain't happening. When was the last time you heard the Africans in the UK say something positive, you know, about Americans? Yeah, okay. When was the last time you heard the Africans in, as I like to say, Canada, aka Canada? When was the last time you heard them say something positive? Right. When was the last time you heard the Africans in the United States say something positive about Black Americans? Exactly. And then with them all in unison saying this stuff, you also have people of different demographics as well. You got the Latins directly out there. You got the Cubans directly out there. You got those out there who are a part of the islands that want to sit up there and say things of that nature. You know, of course, you got the Dominicans out there. You got the Trini people out there that want to happen to say some things and whatnot. Like I said, it's crazy out here. It is crazy. On top of the Asians, on top of the quote unquote Native Americans that's looking real pale at this moment in time, right? Even though scientists and other people have said that they originated from Siberia, right? And there's a region directly over there where you have people with the exact same traditions, the exact same garb, the exact same dressing, phenotypically look the exact same. So, you know, it's pretty hard to believe that the lightest complected people here are quote unquote native to the land when we can clearly find your origins on a whole nother landmass. Diabolical in nature. And also brought you guys a video about that. And also it talked about the fact that back in the 1990s, the Native Americans, quote unquote, on the West Coast used to meet up with those from, I guess, that Siberian or whatever area. They used to go back and forth and have celebrations, but, you know, something happened in the 90s and, you know, they stopped that. The governments or whoever basically stopped that from transpiring and happening, right? But you can look into that. I'm not sure what video I threw that directly in, but I did, you know, showcase that information there. But like I said, Black America's got to pay attention. Everybody is trying to direct and tell you what it is that you are and what it is that you are not. Pay very close attention. Like I said, this is the most vocal that you will ever see Africans on a topic, and that is just facts. All the things that are going on in that continent, on that landmass, and you heard a lot of them. They was like, we got, you know, 54 countries, you know, on this landmass, and da-da-da-da. That's great, but y'all can't even get anything together. You don't even own any of your resources or anything of the sort. And it's wild to me that you want to come through and you want to try to tell us about something. You acting as though that you're educating us on something. But at the same time, you're dumb enough to think that we're talking about trying to boycott Africa. What? Are you stupid? Nobody's talking about Africa. We're talking about you guys here in the United States. This is what we talking about. A lot of y'all got such great educations, and then you come online and say some of the dumbest things known to man. Nobody's talking about boycotting Africa as a continent, as a land mass. We're not talking about that. We're clearly talking about the Africans who are here in the United States, who are being disrespectful to us on an everyday basis, getting online, saying any and everything wild directly to us, and think that we're going to sit up there and break bread and share money directly with them while you're talking out of the side of your neck in our home. That's crazy to me. And for y'all to think that you can go out here and create videos talking about, Black Americans, you don't want to go to war with Africans. You don't want to go to war. We're going to win that war. When was the last time that you went to war? Because last time I checked, y'all still warring amongst yourselves. Y'all can't even settle that correctly. Matter of fact, let's sit up there and just take it back to something comic book related, right? You got two white men that came out with the Black Panther, highly successful movie. I'm pretty sure at least some Africans, ended up seeing the movie, right? Highly successful movie. You in a sense got like some sort of a positive effect and a blueprint directly within that, and y'all can't even take nothing from that and create a Wakanda. What are we doing? What are we talking about? You talking about you Black Americans don't want to sit up there and war with y'all. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You still haven't even won against Europe. You still haven't won against your colonizers. A lot of you guys have sat up there and just bowed out gracefully and be like, you know what, you got it. And there's some more paperwork. We'll sign that for another 400 to 500 years. You can have all of our resources. Oh, Mr. Chinaman, no problem. Come over here. You want a contract too? We're going to sell you off some of our beachfront. Oh, Macaron and some of the other Europeans, you need African waters? No problem, because y'all need fish and stuff? No problem, because y'all landlocked? All right, we'll sit up there and sign that contract in that deal. You're literally selling. You're still slaves. You're still slaves. And it's done by way of your own political officials, of which look just like you. So they may not be selling you directly off, but they're selling the other things that you need, that you own, such as your African waters, such as your fishing ways and everything like that. Taking the food off of the table, out of the hands of the local fishermen that depend on those waters in order to feed their families and to make money directly in their communities. They are signing those things directly off to European faces, of which are not you. But you got the nerve to sit up there and say that you would literally win a war against Black Americans. Where and when? Where and when? You talk about how great you love and care about Africa, but yet you can't even get it together. You can't even unify as a united front. You don't even got a centralized bank at this moment in time. How about that one? How about that one? Some of y'all are still sitting up there going off of European monies. Huh? Some of y'all are still going off of European ways as dressing up when you are being judges, wearing wigs and all this other type of dumbness. Are you serious? And you acting like you want the smoke from Black Americans. Please. When the moment in time that you can sit up there and have this exact same vocal, this exact same voice, this exact same tone, this exact same aggression with your European masters, your holders, all right, then come talk to us. But like I said, you can't hold a candle to what it is that we're doing and we continue to do currently at this moment in time in the United States, historically speaking. Like I said, we got history on the stuff that we've done. We ain't sitting up there running, trying to be under somebody else white just to sit up there and feel a little bit more free versus where we came. That don't even make no sense. That don't even make any sense. And even if you can go to the extent of trying to name a few Black Americans that have decided to travel, it's for a multitude of reasons. Just want you to understand, it's for a multitude of reasons. It's not because they're just simply running because, oh, this is just a poor nation and I don't know how to fix it. And it's a variety of reasons. Like I said, America and Africa are two different places. Two different places. Like I told y'all before, and I think I might have even talked about on a live stream, y'all literally have a narcotic over there called crocodile. And I'm going to repeat again, crocodile. It is not a joke. Go look up what that is and how the Africans procure that and what it is that it actually is and what's inside of it. Like I said, we are two different folks. I would never in my existence, even if I was an addict, I would never in my existence do anything like that. That is wild. That is 100% wild. But like I said before, y'all got all this smoke and y'all got all of this stuff to say directly about us, but you're not trying to fix home. And I want to specifically point out the fact that the main people that I have made responses to are these Nigerians directly out there, because I don't know what it is about Nigerians or Nigeria where it is that these people feel so coming from the area that you're coming from in the world. It's almost akin to India. You want to sit up here and run your mouth. You just like how India got defecation, they got scammers, they got thieves, they got all types of stuff going on. Y'all got the same stuff in Nigeria, and you know that. But yeah, you trying to act all so proud. This, that, and the third. Matter of fact, last time I checked, Ghana's trying to sit up there and throw you out. Isn't Ghana directly over there with y'all? You got another spot over there in that continent that don't even like y'all, and y'all the same people, right? Or are we talking about the tribalism which makes y'all different, right? Because again, like I said before, I thought y'all were the same people, right? So why would one have such a disagreement with you that they trying to get you up out of there, they trying to pack you on up, huh? They disagreeing with your king. That's crazy. They literally pulled a Killmonger. Is this your king? Is this your king? That's some crazy work. That's diabolical in nature. It be like that though. But yet at this moment, I don't currently see Black Americans going through this. I don't currently see Black Americans suffering this. And I don't currently see Black Americans by the droves fleeing to Africa. I'm talking about by millions fleeing to Africa. Just like, yeah, we got to do anything possible. We got to get illegal visas. We got to get somebody pregnant and just have a kid over there in Nigeria so we can sit up there and live comfortably and and all this other. Like I said, it's some crazy work. And at the end of the day, for a lot of y'all Nigerians that want to sit up there and run y'all mouth as if you guys are the main vocal spot for Africa, want you to know that I understand why it is that you're in America. I've talked about this for quite a few times as well in previous videos. It's all due to money. Because of the conversion rate of the United States dollar to your money, you can basically become millionaires with close to about what, 60 grand, 60 to 100 grand. You're basically a millionaire in your country. I get it. Or hundreds of millions of dollars in your country. I get it. I understand it. But like I said, even with all of that money, you're still not trying to do anything in order to benefit and fix and help your people. With all of that education, with all of that paperwork from the white man, what specifically are you doing right now to better your country? And the answer is nothing. All of your best and greatest seemingly are over here, while you leave all of the rest of your other people over there to starve, to scrape and scramble, scramble and scrape. Crazy work. But you got the nerve to sit up here and be proud about, you're Nigeria, you're this and you're that, and in comparison to you Black Americans, you are nothing, and rah, 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 you're just cargo. Crazy work. Crazy. You're doing all of this work to be a part of the 1 to 10% that are holding the rest of your people down. Diabolical in nature. But I guess that's how y'all roll though, right? Anyways, let me know what y'all think about this video and everything that I stated in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.